Hi, I'm meteorologist Tony Petrarca on the Pinpoint 12 Forecast Center. You've clicked on the Weather Now link. 3:30, almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Flood watch remains in effect through tonight for the areas in green. We've got scattered downpours and thunderstorms, and some with heavy rain and localized street flooding possible. Looking at downtown Providence with dark skies, very humid. Visibility not too bad, but noticing heavier rain in the northern part of the state. I'll show you the radar in just a second. One reason why we've had so many episodes of heavy rain this summer, right here, the dew point. So it's been such a humid summer with so much moisture. It's easy to create not only showers, but heavier downpours. Flood watch for today and through this evening and tonight. Tomorrow's actually a better day, even though there's the chance of an isolated brief shower. It's not as widespread as today, but keep an umbrella nearby. Hurricane Lee, watching it closely, and we'll talk about it in more detail. Any New England impacts, direct or indirect, we'll get to that in just a second. Anything that were to potentially happen is not until the end of the week, like Friday, Saturday, so still several days to be watching that. In the meantime, on the satellite and radar composite, you can see some of the heavier rain as of 3:45, concentrated up here in northern Rhode Island. So maybe some localized flooding up in here. Notice you get further south you go towards the south coast, the coverage is not as widespread, so it's generally up in here. Here's the wider view. We have a stationary front draped across the area responsible for some of these showers and thunderstorms. Two systems in the Atlantic. Of course, the one that we're watching is, of course, Hurricane Lee. There's a high-resolution black and white satellite imagery, a little bit of a wider view. Category 3 storm. A new update from the Hurricane Center actually comes in at 5 o'clock. The forecast track takes it as a Category 1 hurricane well off the New England coastline. Well, I shouldn't say well off, but off the New England coastline by Saturday morning at 8 a.m. But here's the concern. This cone right here represents sort of the cone of uncertainty, this area in yellow. So, in other words, the red line represents where the Hurricane Center feels as though the center of the storm will go. But this area of light yellow, this little shaded area, represents anywhere where the center could pass. It could pass as close as Nantucket, or it could pass well out to sea. So a lot of uncertainty as we get towards the Friday, Saturday time frame. We use a number of different computer models. So all these white lines represent a forecast track. And notice how they're all clustered just offshore of Cape Cod. That's a little too close for comfort. This is in the late Friday, Saturday time frame. But notice we do have some forecasts that actually have it being a little closer to southeastern Mass. Most of them are all concentrated out in here. But you got a few that are a little closer to the coastline. And here's the main forecast from the Hurricane Center on this red line, keeping it offshore. One thing's for sure, regardless. First of all, the wind probability. Now, this represents the probability of tropical storm force winds, meaning winds of like 40 miles per hour or higher. And running about a 10-20% chance, especially out towards the Cape and the Islands on Saturday, right in here. So we're going to watch this very closely. In the meantime, one thing's for sure, like with all offshore hurricanes, big waves. So things start to pick up mid to late week. And you get into like Friday, this is Friday morning, and you see these large swells and waves offshore. They're going to be coming into our coastline, and especially into Friday night and Saturday. So dangerous surf, swells and rips, mid to late week, especially towards late Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, even with the storm staying offshore. So high surf, rips, swells, mid to late week as the storm passes off the coastline. More than likely, these waves are going to be much bigger than what we had with Franklin. Franklin passed it was like 900 miles off the New England coastline. Lee may pass as close as 300 miles off the coast, and perhaps closer. So one thing that we'll watch closely. In the short term, we're going to be concerned about some localized street flooding the remainder of the day into the evening hours, showers and thunderstorms scattered, heavy at times. Tuesday's not as bad. I would still keep an umbrella nearby. We'll start with clouds and fog in the morning, humid again. Temps in the lower to middle 70s, and a passing shower or a passing thunderstorm, but not as widespread as today. Humid with temperatures topping out in the upper 70s.